In real terms, the dollars that you have in the bank earning you 0.5% are really losing 1.5% of their purchasing power. Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. I wanted to go over this with you because 2021 will be more expensive for us to live than this past year has been. But before I go over some of the items that are being predicted to be more expensive in 2021, I want to explain to you why this is happening. Because everything that you hear in the news, or at least everything that I hear and read in the news, blames one thing, and it's just not the truth. Sure, this health crisis has caused some supply and demand issues, and that does tend to bring prices up on some items, and it has. However, the true reason behind it is because most people don't understand that their wealth is being stripped from them on a daily basis. Before I show you some of the items that are being predicted to go up in 2021, first I want to show you something. The US dollar is being systematically destroyed, and we are on a path that inevitably leads to hyperinflation. And I have something to show you that proves that we are on that path. We are on the path of Venezuela. We are on the path of Zimbabwe. We are on the path of Argentina. We are on the path of history repeating itself. I'm only going to read you a couple of excerpts from this article. Okay, I'm not going to read the whole thing. However, I will leave the links that I've used for this video all the way in the bottom of the description of the video, should you like to go and take a look. If we keep treating the US dollar like it is toilet paper, it is just a matter of time before our entire financial system goes down the tube. At this moment, the dollar is still the primary reserve currency of the world, and the fact that we control it is an absolute and massive advantage for the US, and it has been since August 15th of 1971. Because the rest of the globe uses dollars to trade with one another, that creates a tremendous amount of artificial demand for our currency, and it keeps the value of our currency elevated at a level that is much higher than it otherwise would be. But now that we are starting to act like the Weimar Republic in their heyday, it is going to be a matter of time before everyone else on the planet starts abandoning the US dollar. We are literally killing our financial system, ladies and gentlemen, and our economy. However, most Americans don't understand that this is happening and why it is happening. So the more amount of money that there is in circulation in the US, in the money supply, the more that those same goods that you were buying last year will cost next year. Now I want to show you how much money exactly we have printed in the last year alone. Not only printed, but that we have added to our economy. Now look at this, ladies and gentlemen. As of the 9th of November, which is the last time that this was updated, this is the M2 money stock chart from the Federal Reserve Bank. Right? You can go to this site. There's a whole bunch of really good information on this site. And this shows you how much money there is in circulation. It's called the M2 money supply. It's called the M2 money stock, but I call it the M2 money supply. This is all of the money that's in circulation throughout the US. In bank accounts, in actual physical dollars, in mutual funds. These are the monies that if you wanted to convert whatever paper asset you had into fiat currency, you can convert it. So right now we stand at roughly $19 trillion circulating within the economy. If we go back roughly 1 year, we were at $15 trillion. So it's more like $3.8 trillion that we've added, but I'm going to say 4 just to round up and make it easier. So in the last year, we've added $4 trillion to our money supply, to the money that's circulating in the economy. And although right now we have somewhat of a deflationary crisis, it's only in some things. And what I mean by a deflationary crisis, it means that the velocity of money is not moving as rapidly as the banks would like it to, or as the Federal Reserve would like it to. When the velocity of money moves rapidly, meaning that it exchanges hands rapidly. So someone buys something from someone and then they buy something from someone, etc., etc. That's a good thing in the eyes of the Fed because it means that the economy is robust, a lot of business is taking place, etc. More taxes being collected, etc. However, right now, the velocity of money is at about the lowest that it's ever been in recorded history. So when you couple that with the fact that we've added about $4 trillion to the money supply in the last year, which is the same amount that we've added to the money supply in the previous 6 years. So if we go back to 2013, that it took us from 2013 to about 2019 to add $4 trillion to the money supply. We've done that in 1 year. That is going to create the prices of things to go up. A lot of people think that the prices of things going up is inflation. No, this is inflation. The inflating of the money supply. What you see here, this is inflation. A symptom of inflation is the prices of things going up. So the more money that there is floating around throughout the economy, chasing around the same goods, because we're not producing more. We're actually producing a lot less now because of this health crisis. So we're producing less and we're making more money. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a recipe for disaster. And eventually this will catch up to us and we will be spending an awful lot more than what we spend now on those basic things that we need to live. This health crisis has had a significant impact on the U.S. economy. And ladies and gentlemen, remember, they're going to blame everything. If they have to print another $7 trillion next year, which I predict that next year they're going to have to print twice as much as they did this year. So next year in 2021, look for us to be printing roughly $7 to $8 trillion because they have to print more every year than the previous year in order for this financial system to stay intact. So look for us to print at a minimum $4 trillion more, but I'll predict that they're going to print at least twice as much as they did in 2020. Shutting down businesses, stalling industries, and wiping out jobs, from disrupting supply chains to delaying the time it takes for certain products to be made or services to be offered, many industries have experienced huge economic losses. As these companies figure out how to recover in the coming years, and as consumer demand for many items and services remains strong, experts predict an increase in the price of many things, ranging from food to healthcare. And ladies and gentlemen, the things that are going to affect us the most are going to be those things that we need. Fuel, food, healthcare. The things that you need for everyday life are the things that are going to go up in price the most. And why is that? If the price of things are going up, it means that you have less money to spend on those things that you want instead of those things that you need. So now you have a population of people who are spending the money that they have on those things that they need to live, i.e. food, healthcare, clothes, whatever, right? So now, once that population figures out that they need to concentrate their spending on a certain pattern of items, they're going to go ahead and start spending on that. And now, in addition to the inflation of the monetary supply, we're going to have a problem with supply and demand. Because now we have more people wanting to spend the dollars that they have before the dollars are worth less. They're wanting to spend it on the same items. So now supply and demand is going to take charge, and it's going to make those items go up in price even more. So they're predicting here that things are only going to go up a few percentage points. However, I think that things will go up a little more than what they're saying. This health crisis has resulted in the price of groceries in the U.S. to increase by 4.1% since the start of this year. And it doesn't sound like a lot, 4.1%. But what they're stating here is that that's the highest increase in over 50 years. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I just read an article yesterday, and I can't pull it up. I forgot where I got it from. But it stated that the price of all foods across the board this last year has gone up by almost 10%, like 9.8%. But I think that we're going to face a price shock on those items that we need next year. And I think it's going to be a lot more than 4.1%. Think about 5% of your income. let's say you make $20,000 a year, 5% of $20,000 a year is $1,000. That is a lot of money to someone that does not make a lot of money. To a billionaire or a millionaire, who cares? 4%, 5%, 10%. They could care less. But the price of groceries will go up, and I think they're going to go up a lot more than 4%. Dairy is going to go up by about 10%. Beef is going to go up by about 11%. Eating out, forget about it. That's done. Clothing, people will start buying less clothing. They'll start learning how to sew and mend their clothes so that they can stretch their clothes farther out instead of just throwing something away and buying something new. Handbags, that's going to be a luxury item, ladies and gentlemen. Computers and electronics, that's going to be a luxury item in the future. However, technology is a deflationary thing. The better that technology gets, usually, the less that it costs. But I think that people are going to be more interested in spending their money on the things that they need instead of the things that they want, like video games. Let me read this part for you. Many consumers have already received notification of a coming increase in their premiums of between 4 and 40%, ladies and gentlemen. This right here is what is called a redistribution of wealth. I mean, inflation in itself is a redistribution of wealth, where they take your wealth and give it to others. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these just are a few of the things. So what I would say is this. This is what I'm doing, and this is what I've been doing for a while now. I've been taking as many dollars as I can and spending them now on things that I know that I'm going to need for the future. Because I know that those things will be more expensive in the future. So instead of leaving your dollars in the bank where they're actually earning you a negative interest rate, if you can, spend some of those dollars now in order to get those things that you need. Some of you may be asking right now, what do you mean that they're earning you a negative interest rate? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're earning, let me be very generous here and say, if you're earning 0.5% interest in your savings, however, if what it costs you to live goes up in price on an annual basis by, let's say, 2%, I'll be generous again, let's say 2%, then those dollars that you have in the bank earning you 0.5% are losing purchasing power by 1.5%, which means that in real terms, the dollars that you have in the bank earning you 0.5% are really losing 1.5% of their purchasing power. That is why I am an advocate of getting the things that we need now. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining in today. I hope that you all had a great Thanksgiving. I truly do hope that you were blessed to be with your family. And I hope that you had a great turkey funeral if you do that. Having said that, I hope that you guys have a great day. We will see you tomorrow. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper. I'm out.